Welcome to the Haney Biz Project with Mark Haney. Mark is a serial investorpreneur and the chief dreaming officer of the Haney Biz Companies. He's working tirelessly to ignite the entrepreneurial revolution and share the inspiring stories of the region's most influential leaders. Coming to you from the Marquee Media Studio, here's Mark Haney.
Happy Cinco de Mayo. And in honor of Cinco de Mayo, I guess Donald Trump tweeted a picture of himself eating a burrito. I don't know if you heard about that, Marcus, but I guess now he's trying to get Mexico to pay for it. I don't know what you think about that. This is the Haney Biz Project, and this is a business show. We are on a mission to ignite the entrepreneurial revolution right here in our hometown of Sacramento. We do this by sharing stories of winning, stories of entrepreneurs battling to try to achieve something that they never thought they could do, but somehow, in the best stories, they figure out a way to win. I'm here with my main man, Marcus Haney. How you doing, Marcus?
I'm doing great. Happy Cinco de Mayo out there, Sacramento.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day. We have great guests coming on the show. We always try to get into the quote of the day. And tell me, Marcus, if you've heard this before. I've learned that people will forget what you said, but people will never forget what you did, and people will definitely never forget how you made them feel. You ever heard that before, Marcus?
Not in those same words, but I've heard that before.
Well, I mean,
Not sure who said it.
For me, yeah, I don't know who said it either. I think Alexis may have pulled that off of the internet, but it's motivational to me because it makes me think back to a time that was a game changer for me. It was the way my dad made me feel, and it really helped me to, I guess, discover what I'm good at or reinforce what I might be good at, because I'm not good at a lot of stuff, but in this particular case, I was back in high school. I was a senior in high school, and I was the delivery boy for my dad's TV shop. And so I was coming back, and we had appliances too, and I was coming back from a delivery. I had to pick up this big refrigerator. It was this big side-by-side, the TFF 24R by GE. It was the top-of-the-line side-by-side with ice and water.
Oh, nice.
And I was in a hurry, right, because I was throwing a party, right, after school, after work. I had to get out to set up the party, and so I'm scurrying around and trying to get this refrigerator off the back of the pickup truck. And so I slide the refrigerator all the way back to the back of the pickup truck. And in those days, we had a lift gate, right, where you lift up on the handle and the tailgate actually begins to go down, right? You see them now and then here today, but I go to do this, I slide the refrigerator to the back, and I pull up on the handle, and the refrigerator starts to go down, and then all of a sudden, I notice that the refrigerator is still, the lip of the refrigerator is still up on the bed of the truck.
Oh, no.
Well, and I'm still pulling up on the handle, and just like in slow motion, oh, no, and the refrigerator slams, bam, to the floor. My mom runs around the corner, comes out. Mark, are you okay? You're okay? And I'm like, oh man, all I could do was look there at the refrigerator. It was broken into pieces all over the warehouse floor. I just sitting there with the handle of the tailgate in my hand, the lift gate, and then my dad rolls around the corner, and he saunters around the corner in this sort of slow motion way. I'm almost thinking like an old Western around the corner, and he's smoking his Camel cigarette, and I could just see it today. He takes that big hit off his Camel cigarette as he looks at me, shaking his head, takes the hit. He says, you know what, El Slicko? You better surround yourself with good people, because you ain't worth a spit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, Dad, and I just sat there feeling devastated, but it reinforced to me that we have to do in life what we're good at. And for me, I was a pretty good delivery guy. I was good with the hand truck and all that, but I was much better at throwing a party. I got to that party that night. Everything turned out to be okay. And I think that's what I've been doing ever since, Marcus. We are here trying to ignite the entrepreneurial revolution right here in our hometown of Sacramento. That's throwing a party. Every time I started a business, it's basically like throwing a little party. I focus on what I'm good at, surround myself with good people to do the rest. So with you here with me today, Marcus, I am surrounding myself with a guy that I truly respect, I truly love, and it makes me a heck of a lot better to have you on the show.
Well, I appreciate that, and listening to your stories and taking all the advice from you and the mentorship makes me a better entrepreneur. So
Well,
thank
are you hanging or banging today? You seem a little flat today. Are you?
Come on now.
I'm livening up. Sometimes, when we say, "Are you hanging or banging?" When you're hanging, that's cool. If you're in relaxed mode, I don't want to bother you right now.
Come on now. I work at my very best opportunity, so I'm over here banging.
Okay, you're banging. So we woke you back up. I know you had a late night last night, so you are here. You're with us. You're building a business, and I think so many times, for us, we're good at throwing parties, and we do have a party coming up on the 25th. We've been kind of keeping it a secret, right? We've been keeping this party a secret. It's on May 25th. And it's out at the Ridge. It's a golf tournament, Marcus, and we have not made a big deal about that until today.
It's the Haney Biz Masters second annual charity golf tournament at the Ridge. We're raising money for severely wounded veterans and also for the Dale and Katie Carlson Center for Entrepreneurship at the Sacramento State University. So love to have anybody out there. You can go to haneybiz.com to get more details under the events section.
Absolutely. It's for a good cause, but as importantly, it's who is going to be there, right? Who comes to the party is often how fun it is, right? So,
you're going to be there.
I will be there. It's at the Ridge, so it's got the right venue. It's got me, but it's got the entrepreneurial studs of Sacramento coming out to play golf, to hang out for dinner, and really have a good time. My buddies, we had a 70s rock band coming out, so it's going to be a good time. Marcus will be there. I mean, we think about this, it's like the fear of missing out, Marcus. You call it FOMO, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I don't want to miss out. You?
Well, fear of missing out. I guess that's why you got me late home for curfew all the time, because I didn't want to miss out on those parties in high school. So I'll make sure that I don't miss out on this one either.
Well, we got a great party, and the question of the day this week is about hidden gems, right? We all want to find that hidden gem, but the question is, would you rather find that hidden gem, or would you rather be that hidden gem, Marcus?
Oh, that's a tough question. I think we were having a little chat before the show about that. And, discovering what you're great at, I think, is one aspect of it. But discovering what somebody else is great at and giving them the opportunity to take that and run with it and help be a good leader is really where all the value comes from.
And on this show, we love to share the hidden gems. Today, on the show, we have coming up some entirely awesome stories in entrepreneurship. But before I get to that, I got to tell you about my marquee media moment, right? Every week it seems like something has happened to me. Somebody is recognizing me. So the other day I was coming to work. It was actually yesterday. I was coming to work, and I got behind this pickup truck. I've only got like an 8-minute drive to work, but I'm stuck kind of behind this pickup truck, and I'm in my, I got a Porsche 911 turbo, right? It's pretty quick, and I'm behind this truck, so I decide I'm going to pull around it real fast, and the truck kind of speeds up, and I'm like, what's going on here? This guy's he's kind of trying to race me, or now all of a sudden he's in a hurry, and I got to get over in front of him so I can turn right to go into Starbucks. Well, so I step on it just to see what the car would do on the way to the office. But I take it up to 100 real quick, and I get back over and get ready to turn right. And all of a sudden, I look behind me, and I get that feeling you get in your stomach when you're like, oh no, it was flashing lights, and I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. So this guy in this sort of is a little tan car, but somehow it had all the flashing lights. He pulls up next to me, and he looks at me, and I think he recognized me. Yeah, he smiled, and he looked at me, and he gave me that slow it down guy, that kind of thing. With your hands, you gesture down, slow it down. And I was like, he recognized me. Thank you, Marquee Media. The billboard guys have done it again. Now they're seeing me on those billboards. Even the police officers are letting me off the hook. I don't know whether to thank Placer County Sheriff's Department or the CHP, but I am going to thank Marquee Media, and I'm going to recognize the people that are coming on the show today. But before I do that, the end of the show today, I have a special announcement. You're going to need to stick around. Special announcement coming at the end of the show. But later in the show, we will meet Jacob Uhlenkott, a man that believes working with passion for a purpose, and he's a partner in the public affairs firm Reagan Sharp. We will also meet the fundraising guru, the man helping drive the launch of the Carlson Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, Al Frisone, the Vice President for Advancement at Sacramento State University. But coming up after the break, we will meet the illustrious Louis Stewart, the Chief Innovation Officer of the City of Sacramento. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, brought to you courtesy of Marquee Media. This is the Haney Biz Project.
Now back to Marquee Media Studio and the Haney Biz Project with your host, Mark Haney.
All right. Welcome back to the Haney Biz Project, brought to you courtesy of Comstocks Magazine and California Backyard. I'm Mark Haney, and today I am joined by one of the top guys over at the City of Sacramento. He's the Chief Innovation Officer, Lewis Stewart. How you doing, Lewis?
Man, I'm good. You're killing me.
Well, you were the reason I quit playing basketball in the 7th grade, right? Or actually, it was the 9th grade. I would go up against guys that are at least a foot taller than me. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's time to focus on, baseball, football, stuff like that. But you are here today sharing the story of the City of Sacramento. But let's get to know Lewis Stewart a little bit more. For those of us that know you, we love you. But for the rest of the city, tell us who Lewis Stewart is.
So I want to start by saying I'm the short one in the family. So just want to put that out
How
there.
tall are you?
I'm 6'8".
6'8",
Yep,
okay.
Yep. But some of you guys know my brother, 6'11" and a half, and my dad, 6'10".
Yeah, your brother with the Kings
with the
for a number of years.
Yeah,
Sixth man of the year.
Yeah, something like that. That's what he tells me at least.
But you played basketball yourself.
No, I did. I got a chance to go down to Santa Clara and play, and then I went overseas for a quick second until my knees said no mas.
No mas. Okay, so who are you? What are you doing today? You've hung up the basketball sneakers, and what are you doing today?
Man, right now, trying to represent the city that raised me and raising 3 kids in the process.
Yeah, so you're the Chief Innovation Officer for the city. What does that entail? A lot.
No, it's a wide range, right? So I think the last time I was here, I was super nervous, but really it spans from boxing to self-driving cars. And anything you can color in the middle, I'm probably involved.
Now, you don't strike me as a guy that has anything to be nervous about. However, having 3 kids, I know that's like it can be a full-time thing, and then you got the full-time gig at the city. Talk to us about what's happening, what's trending right now at the city, what's taking up most of your bandwidth.
So I think right now what's taking a lot of my bandwidth is our grant programs, our autonomous vehicle kind of future, and then what we did with UC Davis recently around Aggie Square, but then just really building partnerships around the city and trying to bring more attention and investment into the city.
Well, you had me when you said grant programs. Does that mean you're giving out money? How does that work?
Oddly enough, we have a little bit that we're trying to give out. And the program is called RAILS, Rapid Acceleration Innovation Leadership in Sacramento.
Okay.
It's a $1 million grant program, really looking at how do we catalyze innovation and entrepreneurship, but also learning programs here in Sacramento. And due date is May 7th.
Due date is May 7th to turn in your grant application. Now, what type of business or organization might apply for a grant?
Sure. Really, this year we kind of opened it up. So the first time around, it was really focused on if you're building an accelerator, if you're trying to do a youth learning program, that kind of thing. This year, we still have the 3 categories: leadership, innovation, and acceleration. But we're looking a whole lot broader and trying to figure out how we reach back into the community and help. So if you're a nonprofit trying to develop a working program for youth, but also for adults, come look at the program, especially under leadership. If you're a small business, if you're a startup, look at the innovation grants. But then really, if you're starting to grow and you think you have something that can scale, look at the acceleration grants.
Okay.
Obviously, different dollar values on each one of those. And really, we're trying to build it around what we call the Sacramento Urban Technology Framework. And so that's looking at mobility, that's looking at food systems, that's looking at clean tech and sustainability, cyber, workforce development, and a couple other things. And so if you can find a way to fit into one of 7 categories.
How big are the grants? What is that? You say you have $1 million. How do you break it up?
No, absolutely. So the smallest grants that we give are from $20,000 to $50,000, and those are in the leadership range. From $20,000 to $100,000 in the innovation range, and then from $50,000 to $250,000 in the acceleration range.
Wow, exciting stuff. Well, okay, well let's keep it rolling here. And you talked about the autonomous vehicles, right? Are those safe? I mean, that sounds kind of scary. Those are without drivers, am I right?
Those are without drivers.
Okay, what are you working on in that realm?
Right. So one, we have an initiative that we have in Sacramento called AUTOS, Autonomous Transportation Open Standard. We actually launched it about a year ago, right after I started, or right before I started with the city. And really, it is all about the learning and the safety and how human interaction happens with essentially robots, right? So for the past year, we've been developing out the platform and are actually looking to turn it into an actual institute, a global institute, with potential partnerships in China and Netherlands and a couple other countries, in partnership with universities. But really, day to day, what can people touch, feel, see? We don't have any cars on the road yet, but this month you should see a remote operated car. So basically like somebody operating a remote control car, but a real size car. So those are driverless, not truly autonomous because there's still somebody driving.
Who owns those cars?
So the companies the driving system companies do. So in this case, the company we're working with is called Phantom Auto, and the cars are actually owned by a company named Renovo.
Okay. Yeah. And what's the city's role? You have to approve it, or do you help ignite this in some way?
So more on the ignite side, right?
Okay.
So we want to bring some visibility to this stuff. As far as approving it, we're trying to make sure we work in the guidelines that are set forth by the DMV, who basically are the regulatory body that oversee autonomous cars in Sacramento or in California. Yeah. And so in Sacramento and throughout the region, we want to help DMV, we want to help Caltrans, we want to help kind of the state figure out how not to create a patchwork of regulations around this stuff, so that the cars can go from city to city, state to state, in some kind of manner, as opposed to every city having something different.
Well, we own a limo company, and I'm a little concerned that the self-driving cars are going to put us out of business. Now, how am I supposed to? What's going to happen to me? Am I going to stay alive?
Yeah, like with the limo companies, I think now the drivers can actually start being entertainers, right?
Okay. Hey, there's no doubt. Yes, absolutely. And our drivers are like that. We got the best drivers. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, no. It is. I mean, I think that's what entrepreneurship is all about. There is going to be technology changes that force us to adapt and overcome, but that's where innovation comes out, right? Don't we have to be innovative?
You actually absolutely have to be innovative and find new ways to repurpose things. So yeah, sure, there's a fear about drivers losing their job, but if you're a driver, let's figure out how we either get you entertaining in the limo or actually programming them on the other side. So
I love it. Okay, so Aggie Square, what's that? I know you're extremely excited about Aggie Square and where it could go from here.
Look, Aggie Square is something that Chancellor May talked about before he was Chancellor May. We went and met him in Atlanta, and they did something called Tech Square out there. And basically, it was how the university engaged Atlanta differently. So he wanted to come out here and do the same thing with UC Davis. UC Davis is a big part of Sacramento and the Sacramento region. But there's that mystical, magical causeway that keeps people from talking.
Yes.
And so Aggie Square is really a first effort to bring the research capabilities, the lifestyle, the culture that UC Davis is about into Sacramento and integrate it into the community.
So I'm trying to understand that. I'm having a hard time. I understand the causeway. Sure. What comes into Sacramento? What actually gets here? And then from a consumer or a citizen, how would I see it? How would I feel it? How would I experience it?
So right now you can go look at pictures.
Okay. Okay. Right now it's just a dream at this stage.
But no, it's a little bit more than a dream. There's a lot of planning that's actually going to be started by this. The first kind of Aggie Square instance is based around the Med Center in Oak Park.
Okay.
And so if you just think about the Med Center period, you're going to think biotech, you're going to think life science. And it's really, the way we see it is kind of a catalyst to bringing life science to Sacramento, and bringing, the way I look at it being a competitor, right now Sacramento is 7th on the list for job creation in life science.
Okay.
Aggie Square could easily put us in the 4th place.
Wow.
In a couple of years once it kind of gets going. There's a potential for 2 million square feet of development. There's a potential for different kind of programming efforts, connection to ag tech, connection to mobility, and so the autonomous car thing is a real thing, because now we can figure out how we get people around the campus in
Yes.
autonomous shuttles. So we have to have these conversations, and so I think you're looking at probably 5 years before you truly start seeing it integrated into the community. But in those 5 years, you'll start seeing a whole lot of development happening in the city.
Well, talk to me about the ecosystem. So I know that you work with the universities. Obviously, having UC Davis in our backyard is great for the city. It's great for the entire region. We have Sac State. We have the different universities, and but the entrepreneurial ecosystem. It's education. It's the entrepreneurs, but it's more than that. It's even government in some ways.
It absolutely has to be government. Look, Sacramento has always been known as a government town, and for some reason that's been a bad thing. But because, the new thinking and what we've been trying to get people to think on the innovation side is that Sacramento's the capital of the 6th largest economy in the world. And there is no reason why the government should not be looking at us to learn if policies work, to set policies, to demonstrate the viability of products, services, policies, and whatever. And as a region, we can actually probably step into that role fairly well. But then there's also the silver tsunami coming. So now there's going to be, potential workforce shortage on the government side.
Okay.
So now we need to make sure that through Sac State's Policy Institute, through UC Davis, through UOP, we actually train up a bunch of students that are ready to step in and, really get involved in civic engagement.
Well, the silver tsunami, I have not heard that term before. Explain to me what that is and how is that going to, you say that's going to
Sure.
cramp the workforce a little bit.
Absolutely. So you figure in Sacramento region, about 1/3 of the workforce is in government. And probably 1/3 to a half of that are 55 and older.
Right.
And so once you start nearing retirement age, sure, you can bring back retired annuitants all you want, but there's still going to be people that there's still going to be job openings.
Yes.
And so while government is often frowned upon, we're not trying to grow government. We're just trying to make sure that it's efficient, make sure that it's more in lockstep with what needs to happen next.
Well, thinking about innovation and entrepreneurship and all the things that are happening, will you come into a place like the city of Sacramento? How has it changed since you got there, and where do you see it going from here?
Look, right now is a great time to be in Sacramento, and I'm super honored to actually be here. And what's really changed is that people are actually starting to talk about partnership in a different way. People are not necessarily looking only towards the Bay Area for savior, right? Yeah. We actually have so much here. I think now it's just a matter of aligning stuff and making sure that the universities are part of what we're doing. Government is actually looking at new ways of operating and new things that they can actually bring in to help the citizens. But then industry that's here, that's growing, making sure that they have what they need in order to expand and stay. All of those things mixed together will help attract more business to the city, and that's an exciting time. We're getting looks from overseas, from international delegations, because we are kind of the locus of power in the state, and that's a very different conversation here in Sacramento.
Yeah, it is an exciting time here in Sacramento for us entrepreneurs, and we appreciate your leadership, Louis, and what the city of Sacramento does to help propel entrepreneurship and innovation here in our hometown. I know we share this love for this town together, and I look forward to working alongside you to help boost the opportunity here in Sacramento. Thanks for joining us today, Louis.
No, thanks for having me again. Glad to be back.
You bet. Coming up after the break, we will meet the fundraising guru, Al Frisone, the Vice President for Advancement at Sac State University. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, brought to you courtesy of Audi Rockland and DCA Capital. This is the Haney Biz Project.
Welcome back to the Marquee Media Studio with Mark Haney, igniting the entrepreneurial revolution with the Haney Biz Project.
Welcome back to the Haney Biz Project, brought to you courtesy of Hub International and Legion AVS. I'm Mark Haney, and today I have the privilege of bringing on Al Frisone, the Vice President for Advancement at Sac State University. How you doing, Al?
I'm well, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Al Frisone. Now, you, the name kind of sounds like a mobster type name. You're not a mobster boss, are you? I'm thinking of Al Capone. Sorry about that. Al Frisone. Okay, so Sac State. You're over there with the guys over at Sac State University. How you doing, Al?
I'm doing well.
All right. So,
and originally from New York, so that just reinforces all your senses.
I love it. All right. Who is Al Frisone? What are you doing here in Sacramento?
That's a great question. I never planned to move to California, but about 8-9 months ago, I was contacted about an opportunity here in Sacramento at Sacramento State. And at the time, I was a search person contacted me, and I promptly declined. I said, "No, I'm not moving to California."
What was your first thought? California? Are you kidding me?
I love California, but all my time have been spent on the coastal cities, San Diego, L.A., San Francisco, and she basically asked me to at least investigate it somewhat as a favor to her to make the search a little more robust. I came out here, was contacted as a semifinalist, and was just really impressed with the community, and it totally flipped every sort of impression I had ever had of California, which wasn't bad, but the folks of Sacramento, the people, the potential of this city, and then the leadership going on at Sac State and Dr. Nelson, our president. It was just the perfect storm in many ways, and here I am.
Well, talk to us about what you're doing at Sac State University.
Well, so I'm the Vice President of Advancement, and I'm in charge of all the fundraising and marketing communications for the university. And so I spent 17 years at Marquette University prior to coming here, and I've been in the development fundraising business for almost 30 years now. So Sac State has a number of great, exciting things going on campus, one of which, of course, is the Dale and Katie Carlson Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, which you're involved with. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Your energy on our advisory board is second to none.
You know what they say, if you don't have talent, you better have some energy. So that's what I brought. I bring that wherever I go. I have this endless supply of energy. It just renews every day. But I bring the energy to this group, but talk to us about what we're doing from your perspective with the Dale and Katie Carlson Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. What do you see?
Well, I think, hopefully it's a program ultimately. This was a dream of Dale's for sure. I mean, he is the quintessential entrepreneur in many ways. Certainly one of if there was an entrepreneurship hall of fame in Sacramento, he'd probably be a first ballot guy.
He would be on the wall for sure. No question. No question.
And so, Dale is very proud alumnus of Sac State. And so he wanted to really foster that entrepreneurial spirit on our campus and with our students, our current students and our future students, that we really have a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship on our campus. And from Dale, being the wise man that he is, realized that Sac State could also play a very integral role in advancing the entrepreneurial culture in the city of Sacramento.
Yes.
And so I think that's really what we're excited about, being able to contribute to
So
that.
he made this huge donation to you guys. We're building out the center. He's brought in all the entrepreneurial studly friends that he's got, plus me. I snuck in there somehow. And we're designing a way to not only help the students at Sac State, but have it spread throughout the community. But what you're doing is beyond that. Talk to us, and we can go on and on about Dale, but this is the Frisone show. So talk to us about what else you're doing.
So, Dale made a $6 million investment in the program, which is allowing us to hire an executive director who's going to run the program. We have 4 finalists right now that are on campus this week, and an incredibly talented group of people. So we're going to have a great leader of the program in the very near future. And then there's going to be a real detailed set of priorities that fall out from that once that director gets on board. On an interim basis, however, we already know that we're committed to investing, and we need investment in things like funding for pitch competitions on our campus, mentoring programs that are going to get our kids excited about what innovation entrepreneurship means, and to really learn and benefit from practitioners that have actually done it. And also scholarship opportunities, funding opportunities to get these buildings, these initiatives launched, and to promote it throughout the colleges. We're a little unique. Some entrepreneurship programs are housed solely in a business department. Ours is multidisciplinary. There is a charge across our campus, and all 7 colleges that we sponsor, they are to be involved and will be involved in entrepreneurship.
So you've
we're
got the
excited about
deans
that.
of each of these colleges on the board with us, on the advisory board with us. And so when I go back to, say, history, the history board, I mean, there's entrepreneurial thinking inside the history college. Is that right? Is it a college of history there? I didn't go there, so I don't know all the colleges yet.
There's a history department.
Okay.
Within the College of Arts and Letters.
Oh,
so,
okay,
yeah,
I gotcha.
It's layered. Like, higher education is a little bit bureaucratic, so there's some layers. But yes,
Okay.
we have a history department, and that's it. I mean, it's funny. Listening to you open your show and talk about your passion for entrepreneurship and innovation, you're creating a culture in this community. And Dr. Nelson really, I think, and someone like Dale Carlson really understand the value of creating an entrepreneurial spirit in a community, whether it's the Sacramento community or the Sac State community amongst our students. And once you get everybody on a 30,000 student campus, thinking all the time about being creative and being entrepreneurial, the sky's the limit on what you can accomplish.
Yeah, you think about investing into these future leaders of Sacramento, future leaders of America, these entrepreneurs, and will be entrepreneurs. I mean, if you think about what that might do for the region and for the state and beyond, I mean, how might it impact a city like Sacramento from your viewpoint?
Well, I think that's a big reason why I'm here, the potential upside of a city like Sacramento. As Lewis pointed out, there's been a long time sort of stereotype of a government town, but there's so much going on for this city right now, and you see it you can't walk out your front door without seeing it. So I think we have to leverage that. We look at the growth of Sacramento as Sacramento State being an integral part of that and growing right alongside of that. If the city of Sacramento is to reach its full potential, it can't do it without a great, strong, growing, vibrant Sacramento State. 80% of our students, all right, our graduates remain in the Sacramento area.
Yeah.
So if you're a future employer, all right, and you want to hire talent and retain that talent, where better to go than Sacramento State? And so we want to be on the ground floor of something like this, entrepreneurship and innovation, and be a leader in the community.
Well, I love what you're doing, and you use the term leadership, and the way that Robert Nelson stood out to you, the president of Sac State University. I had that same feeling when I met him, and we only have a minute left, but in speaking out to the people who are thinking about where do I want to go to college, where there may be some young people listening, or where do I want to have my kids go to college, talk to me about what difference the leadership there at, did I say Sierra College? I didn't say Sac State University. Boy. We have to edit that, Jeff. When you think about the leadership at Sac State University and Robert Nelson, describe to me the way you felt and why we might want our children to go to Sac State University.
Well, I think, the big reason why you want your kid to go to Sacramento State is because, and Robert Nelson leads the charge on this, every decision we make, every initiative we launch at the university is focused on the students. All right? It is a student-centered organization, student-centered university. And there's a lot of great research universities out there doing a lot of unbelievable things, making amazing discoveries. But Sac State doesn't pretend to be that. Sac State is someone is an organization that is committed to educating kids and making them, creating a roadmap for them to make a tremendous impact in the community and elevate their own lives when they graduate. And what more, if you're a parent, would you want for your kid in the college experience?
Well, Al Frisone, welcome to California. Welcome to Sacramento. Appreciate what you're doing for these students, what you're doing for our college here, Sac State University. Look forward to knowing you better. Look forward to working with you on the Dale and Katie Carlson Center. It's going to be a ton of fun. When we come back, we're going to meet a man named Jacob Uhlenkott, a man that believes in working with passion for a purpose. He is the partner in the public affairs firm Reagan Sharp. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, brought to you courtesy of Chicago Fire and Apex Appraisal Services. This is the Haney Biz Project.
And now, back to the Haney Biz Project with investorpreneur Mark Haney, coming to you from the Marquee Media Studio.
Welcome back to the Haney Biz Project, brought to you courtesy of accounting firm Clifton Larson Allen and Growth Advisors from California Growth Advisors. I'm Mark Haney, and I am with Jacob Uhlenkott, partner in the public affairs firm Reagan Sharp. How you doing, Jake?
I'm doing just fantastic.
Okay, Jacob, how do we run into you? How do we get you on the show today? What happened?
You know, it's kind of random. We had reached out a while ago, and then there was the Culture Lab X event, and came in here.
Well, welcome. You are an entrepreneur. You are building businesses. Talk to us about your businesses.
Yeah, so three primary ones. We've got, I'm a partner in the public affairs firm Reagan Sharp. We are a boutique land use, politics, and energy public affairs firm.
Okay.
I'm also involved in it's coming out. So the whole, the hidden gem kind of thing. We're coming out from underneath the radar. This is the first media thing we've done since we've been we kind of been in the dark for the last 2 to 3 years. It's called Synergy Fuels.
Synergy Fuels, okay.
And
so today, this is breaking news right now.
Yeah.
All right, let us out. Let it rip.
And the reason that we chose this for our first one is because Sacramento is key to the technology that we're seeking to deploy here, which is turning used tires, back into usable fuels. Okay. High grade and a zero emissions process.
So tires come off your car, you're going to throw them in the garbage. You're not supposed to throw them in the dumpster. Instead, you do what with them? We put them somewhere, and you guys turn them into something we can reuse?
Yeah, right now, tires typically go to landfills.
Okay.
Once the landfill fills up, only about 20% of them are actually reclaimed, like rubberized asphalt, things like that.
Okay. So
you're still having an environmental problem. And then the rest sit in the landfill, or they're shipped off to the Middle East, wherever, to get burned. So it's a real problem. So basically, what we've been working this past year is to acquire so that it's a vertical business. So we have the tire recycler company.
So you got the tire recycler company,
Yep.
And people just need to take their tires over there. Now, where you're locating this, it's not in the middle of Sacramento. Where are you locating it?
It would be out a little ways. We need about 10 acres.
Yeah. Okay, so you're launching this business. When do you start getting revenue? When does it start cranking?
So we're in the middle of the raise now.
Okay. You got to try to raise money for this thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a significant raise, but what our strategy was to do this kind of the right way, build the business so it's vertical, so that when the first plant has the funding raise, then we're ready to.
So let me get this straight. You're a public affairs guy, right? So you're an expert. It sounds like politics and communication stuff, and you're transferring all that wisdom over to recycling tires.
Yeah, that's one of the technologies. It's a Synergy Fuels. There's a bunch of different technologies. It's a suite of technologies, but it's something that we, especially in, like Lawrence was saying, we're the 6th largest economy. This is, if we're going to do this anywhere on a business that has impact both environmentally, it's a sustainable business, it's profitable, out the gate, then it should be right here, because we have the workforce right here that can run this plant. What are the biggest challenges you run into? It doesn't sound you don't have it off the ground yet. What kind of challenges? This is kind of like real world stuff here. Grind it out.
Yeah. You're kind of pivoting with the business. Yeah. What's the biggest challenge? You're talking about raising money. How much money have you raised?
We've our first round, we've raised a little over $2 million.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we have assembled quite a team. I can say more as time goes on, but it's an exciting team. We purchased a facility just recently that was going under, where we are making all of our make all the components for the technology, and that was a failing business, and we purchased it last year, and within 3 months after purchasing it, we made it profitable. So it's a solid entrepreneurial team behind it.
Okay, so we only have a minute left. Talk to us about, it's flying by, but thinking about what we need to glean. We want to be inspired on this show. We want to be educated. We want to find a way to connect in a way that maybe is helpful to our listeners. What do we need to know about you and what you're doing that might either inspire us, educate us, or get us connected up to what you're doing?
It's the whole innovation here. We this is a real problem. No one has really been able to to solve it. And so it's a community effort. It's something where we have to band together. I mean, we're doing our part. We're doing all of our homework. We're doing all the third-party stuff, everything to make it ready. And so it's a no-lose situation.
When you say band together, what do you mean? Who needs to band together?
Preferably local Sacramento investors.
Okay, Sacramento investors, get a hold of you, invest into the entire piece of the business.
Yep.
And they can expect this thing to be open and running for business when?
12 months.
In 12 months. All right. Any closing thoughts as we take it away? I want to talk about a couple of sponsors here today. Any closing thoughts?
Well, it says what kind of closing thoughts as far as just
Just takeaways that we should have about what you're doing and what you'd like to see us do, how to move us into action.
When you go through the whole entrepreneurship thing, there's and this is with my other business, which is Biz Sprouts. It's inspiring hope. It's inspiring hope. So like if you're in a rural community, if you have a laptop, you can start a business. You can do this stuff. I mean, I came across, just keep moving, keep meeting people, and you'll come across some amazing stuff like what the Synergy Fuels is.
Yeah, just keep battling. Good job, Jake. I love the ambition. I love what you're doing. You're into a number of different things, and you're a young guy, and I definitely wish you the best. I want to take a minute right now to thank the people that sponsor this Haney Biz project, the guests that come on the show. It's not easy coming on the show here and sharing your story at times, especially if you're on the greener side. But I also want to thank the people that help this thing come together. Jake, you talked about having the community come together. We heard about that from Lewis as well, and obviously we heard about this from Al. I call it the power of with the City of Sacramento, right? With Sac State University, with entrepreneurs like you, with the investment community coming together. Anything is possible. And on this show we have one sponsor that I have to give a shout out to because yesterday her name came up. It's Kim Silvers with Silvers HR, and I think all of us that have employees wonder how to stay out of hot water with the government, right? There's all these laws, rules, and regulations around how we treat our employees. And at Silvers HR, they make it easy, right? They provide you the game plan for staying compliant. And Kim is the leader of the organization. She's the owner, the CEO, and her team helps businesses do this, but you don't have to have your own HR professional on staff. Instead, for a few $100 a month, Kim and her team will run all the programs for you with giving you the information and getting you set up so that you can help stay compliant with your employees. So I just want to thank Kim. I want to thank everybody that helps out with this show, my team. Again, next week we're going to have an incredible show. We got Mike Teal from Rayleigh's. He's going to come on and share the story about how it's a third-generation story about how he is taking Rayleigh's to an entirely new level. When we return, Marcus and I will share our takeaways, closing thoughts, and I'll share a special announcement that we have, and you do not want to miss this. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, brought to you courtesy of Ethan Conrad Properties and financial advisors, Stiefel Financial. This is the Haney Biz Project.
Welcome back to the Marquee Media Studio for Mark's takeaways from today's Haney Biz Project.
Welcome back to the Haney Biz Project, brought to you courtesy of Silvers HR and 5 Star Bank. I'm Mark Haney, and I'm back here with Marcus Haney. Marcus, takeaways, closing thoughts. What do you think today?
Great show. A lot of cool things happening with the City of Sacramento. But I'm really excited to see what happens with the Dale and Katie Carlson Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation at Sac State. It seems like there's going to be a lot of cool stuff, a lot of great things harnessed out of there, and a lot of great opportunities for students that are up and coming that want to build a business.
Yeah, and I love what Lewis Stewart is doing. I mean, I can't wait to ride in an autonomous vehicle. Right? We know the guy that's right there on the cutting edge of that stuff. He is a buddy of ours. I'm sure we will be close to the action.
I look forward to it,
rolling. So I look forward to knowing that. I don't know. Maybe I'll have you write it first. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm not afraid.
You know, I talked about an announcement that we were going to make, and you know, this has been 2.5, almost 3 years coming. There's been this idea of what should the name of this show be, right? At first, it was Entrepreneurs Unlimited. I was like, I don't want to put my name in the show. And then I got a little bit of courage, maybe come out of the closet a little bit.
There you go.
You know, come out. Maybe I should put my name in it. Let's call it the Haney Biz Project, because I have this fascination, right, that if enough of the more successful entrepreneurs help enough of the up-and-comers, then we could ignite an entrepreneurial revolution. And you know, that fascination, it's becoming more than a fascination these days. It is actually starting to come true. And so after much coaxing, we have decided for me to come out a little bit further out of the closet.
All right.
And we're going to call this the Mark Haney Show. Well, what do you think?
Luckily,
it's a good name, huh?
Luckily, I've got the same name, so I'm okay with
Mark
it.
Haney Jr. Show. I love it. We're going to change the name. I think we're going to get the marketing guys to do this. I think sometime midsummer, this will be the Mark Haney Show. You see me up there on the billboards, which is embarrassing at times, but I think it's starting to help build the brand. But more than importantly, I think it's starting to connect me with the entrepreneurial community here in Sacramento, and hopefully get some of these entrepreneurs off the ground, over the hump, and creating the opportunity like what Dale Carlson did and is continuing to do there at Sac State. So I think it's okay to be the hidden gem, but when you start to become discovered, you start to come out of the closet a little bit, you know what? I look at it as that is our moral obligation to, if you have a gift, right? I'm good at throwing a party that people want to come to. It's hard to admit that publicly, but you know what? I am doing that. That is what is happening here in Sacramento, and I'm not the only party thrower here in town, but I am working together with the other people, some of the other leaders here in Sacramento, to help throw a party that people want to come to here in Sacramento for entrepreneurship. So I'm proud of what we're doing here on the show, Marcus. I am coming out of the closet. We are going to do this. Sacramento will not forever be a government town. We are moving this thing into the world of entrepreneurship. It's the right thing to do. It's the moral thing to do for our kids and our grandkids and for the future generations. So this is going to happen. I am going to share the gem stories of Sacramento's entrepreneurship. And part of that is me getting myself known, coming out of the closet. This is going to be the Mark Haney Show.
I love it. I'm fired up. You got me going.
A shout out, to everybody that's helping us fight the good fight. Yesterday I was at the Family Business Association. I was on the panel, and I got a chance to sort of say my piece out there. And I let it happen. They asked us questions like, the first question of the panel was, why haven't you moved from California? Why are you still in Sacramento? And I could only say one thing. I said, you know what? My grandson plays Little League on the same place where I played Little League, where I coached you, Marcus, in Little League.
Right.
My business partners are guys that I played Little League with and football with. And when I think about what's important to me in my life, it's my family, it's my friends, and it's this community of Sacramento. It's what I love, and I will never leave. You can be one of those people that decides to take off for a tax break or for a change in regulation, but there is nothing like the people. As Stewart said it today, there is nothing like the people of Sacramento that makes this great. So as we go to break, and we end today, I just think if you're searching for that one person that can change the trajectory in your life, maybe we ought to take a look in the mirror. Right? Maybe that person we see looking back at us is the hidden gem, right? I call it a fascination for driving entrepreneurship. But you know what? Whatever you love about yourself, I love the fact that I'm driven for entrepreneurship. It's what I bring. When you don't have talent, you bring passion, you bring energy. That's what I bring for entrepreneurship. And so as we close it out today, just a salute to all the leaders of hometown patriotism, to all those fighting the good fight for our freedom, our security, and for this game we call entrepreneurship. To the 13 stripes and to the 50 stars, and to the one big American gem, always worth fighting for, you. Never above you, never below you, always by your side.